We are live at the 6th, and Vijay Singh for the outright lead. Well, Vijay shares the lead with Gavin Coles, just as they did overnight at 11 under. But wait till you see this leaderboard and the number of contenders we have for the title. So you've got 2 at the top, and then Olaz&aacute with Greg Owen only 1 behind. John Daly is 2 back with Darren Clark, who's making up for the mistakes of a Sunday a week ago. He's at -9 and 4 under for the round, with Jeff Maggert at 9, Joe Ogilvie, Houstonian Tom Byram at -9, and then Doug Barron, Brian Davis, Bo Van Pelt, Kent Jones all at 8, and not to be ruled out as the Shell Houston Open, who knows, could be headed to a playoff. Should be pretty exciting indeed coming down the home stretch here at the Redstone Golf Club. And we're back out live to the 7th hole, and always one of the most difficult assignments you'll get here. This is Jose Maria Olaz&aacute, 1 off the lead. You come to the 7th, all you hope to do here is make your 4 and move on to the 8th. Jim Nantz, Lanny Watkins, the CBS Golf Team, so pleased to be back in Houston.
Well, this is a monster of a hole, and Jose Maria looking at 190 here. The good thing here, if he can put it in just left of the hole, he can use that slope to work the ball down to the hole.
Not a very inviting hole location for a 4-iron.
All right, Peter Costas safely on for Jose, who is 108th on the tour final round scoring average and came close, had his chances at Atlanta a week before the Masters to win. Over at the 8th, Daly for par. And that's a big one. Circles the cup. A victory lap maybe, who knows?
Yeah, and that's a big one. That coming off a bogey at number 7, he needed that to keep things on sort of an even keel, and only 2 shots back. A lot of holes left on a big golf course, and that favors John Daly.
And of course that he has starred on. This is the 3rd year the tournament's been held here, and John's had 2 top 10 finishes and on his way to a 3rd, and maybe his best showing yet. Now back at the 7th. Greg Owen.
Just put this up in the center of the green. That's well done, right over the flag. That's exactly what he wanted to do there. Leaves himself 20-25 feet for birdie. Excellent play.
So Singh and Coles will head to the 7th, sharing the lead with 2 others only a stroke back. And again, it is bunched, it's congested, it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's wonderful to be back with all of you, Jim Nantz and Lanny Watkins, here outside of downtown Houston. And Lanny, how do you kind of sort this thing out on a Sunday when it's this tight?
Boy, Jim, I think we've got an old-fashioned Texas shootout today. Vijay and Gavin Coles have not gone forward today. They've kind of maintained, and they've let a lot of other people get right in the mix. Not just a couple, 3, 4, 5 shots back, but we're talking 2, 3 shots. And I like a guy like Darren Clark. He's ahead of the game. If he posts a score early, he might sit there and just have it handed to him.
What a turnaround for him after his misfortunes of a Sunday ago. CBS Golf Team, as I mentioned, on hand, and we welcome the return of David Faraday. I'm a little under the weather yesterday. He was on our inactive list on Saturday. We've activated him today, along with Peter Costas, Bobby Clampett, and Gary McCord in the towers at 15 and 16. Peter Osterhaus mans the way over at 17. We go out to the tee at the 7th, and we'll hand it off here to Mr. Osterhaus.
Thank you, Jim, and a very important tee shot, just under 500 yards at this par 4.
Ooh, and that lands on one of those little local downslopes and takes a huge kick forward. That's enormous.
And important to hit the long one, especially on number 7. Gavin Coles giving up a lot of yardage to Vijay Singh, but very accurate off the tee, but not at number 7, and that almost certainly will be a layup. It would be a very risky shot. David took a closer look at this hole earlier in the week. Look at the water up next to the green. Vijay going at his pace, as he does, as the top players do. They get in their rhythm, know they've put the work in, and just one shot at a time. What a comparison here. 78 players in the field. Coles is 72nd out of 78, and Vijay has been pounding it off the tee. Coles more accurate. They were 80%, second in the field, and they're not far away when it comes to greens in regulation. And Coles has been putting that much better than Vijay. So an interesting comparison of stats up at the green now with Olaz&aacute. Started at 9 under, birdied the second hole, a par 4. A little bit of slope. Well, player plays safe long and left. He's got a very slippery putt down the hill. And you can see on a hole just under 500 yards, what a hole placement. On a direct line from the fairway to the hole, just 4 yards of green to work with. And Greg Owen, 33-year-old from Nottinghamshire in England, went through the qualifying tournament last year, finished 4th, and he's got off to a hot start, made 8 cuts of 9, 1 top 10, and that was a big 3rd place at the AT&T behind Phil Mickelson and Mike Weir. Chunk of money there. He is 35th on the money list. Has a home at Windermere just outside Orlando. Very happy to be cruising around the PGA Tour.
And Peter, both Greg Owen and Olaz&aacute, I think the key to their round today is the club that they're both holding right now, the putter. Yeah. Greg 117th in putting, and Olaz&aacute obviously with that meltdown at Atlanta where he had a chance to win.
We're showing Turn Pro way back in 1996. Pretty steady on the European Tour, inside the top 40 for 4 consecutive years. Was a top-ranked tennis player as a junior before taking up golf. And he was shaky. A poor putt on 17 yesterday. He bogeyed the last 2 holes last night when he was leading. And was leading again earlier today, and then double bogeyed the 5th hole, the par 3. There's only one back, and that's for a birdie. He previously had 2 birdies on this hole. Considering there's 20-something birdies from the field, he's had 2 of them, and down the fairway, no contest here. David?
No, 240 yards and a big overhanging pine in front of him. Even if he'd had a clean lie, he would have had to lay up here, and that's well back, probably a full wedge in there.
And a full wedge with a bit of slope behind the pin. A player can throw the wedge behind the cup, have it spin back. Now Greg Owen taking his time on the par putt. As it stands at the moment, this 7th hole ranks in the top 10 toughest holes on tour this year. Of course, once you get the US Open in the mix, the British Open, if there's a bit of wind, the PGA Championship, Baltusrol is going to be tough. That they start filling those top spots as toughest holes. Offsetting birdies at the par 4s, 2nd and 4th. Seems very comfortable on the PGA Tour. And Olaz&aacute much more comfortable this season than the last 2. Works hard on his game with Butch Harmon. He's driving the ball longer and straighter than he has ever done. And just the 1 under for today's round. Also 1 back of Singh and Coles. Coles has already laid up, and Vijay has had a long wait for this 2nd shot.
Yeah, a long way. He's hit this an enormous thump down here, just 168 yards left. So, and that's into the breeze, so that's a drive of 330 odd yards.
And now, how aggressive does he get on this shot?
Well, he's got a little bit of a backstop behind it, and he has 7 iron.
He's
168.
Considering how difficult this hole has been the last 2 years and this year, just seems like a routine par 4 after that drive.
Well, I suspect that he is in between clubs here, and Yeah, he's going to go with 6, and that makes it just a little harder to hit it close to the hole here. He's got to take something off this. It's the sort of shot that you'd like to just go ahead and hit a full shot, flag just over the water. A high fade right at the flagstick. Took a little too much off it. Hung up.
It settles. He's okay. A surprisingly aggressive play. If he goes in the water. Now let's have a look. Greens and regulation on the tour as a whole, not just this week. And second behind Kenny Perry for Vijay, and Tiger's right in there. Tour average 65%. Let's go to number 9.
Well, after a drive of 329 yards, John Daly's second shot. He's got 250 yards plus. Oh, man, that's a 3-iron. And you can see the tilt of that green. That's impossible. That's as good as you can hit a 3-iron from 250. John Daly, a chance at an eagle. John Daly now on his eagle pitch back up the hill. Pretty easy shot. I'll take dead aim at this. Go to the right, go to the right. Excellent chip there for John Daly. Looks like he could snuggle that one in to get to double figures again at 10 under par. Go back to 8.
And the 8th hole's a par 3. Greg Owen, one off the lead.
200 yards today. This hole location, the back left. This is 5-iron. Coming over the bunker is very difficult to get the ball close today.
What a wonderful line this is on, Lanny.
Oh, and he stops it right there. Whoa. Beautiful shot. Well, we've not seen hardly anything closer today. Everything hitting on that slope and releasing.
Over to 7.
This was earlier. Gavin Coles.
And from 108 yards, just you see a little sawn-off swing. That was a huge club, 9-iron.
And tough to get it to back up with the 9-iron punch that much. Seems like a lot of club. Now Vijay, flag out. And that won't impress Vijay. Flag out, trying to hole it. And very close at the top. 4 other players at 9 under par with John Daly. Now Coles for the par. This would be some par.
Oh boy.
That is some par. Take that.
Well, that was a perfect place to hit it, apparently.
Shortest hitter in the field was always going to have trouble at number 7. Big trouble, and then drains it for a par. It was always a good line. Good speed. Just look at the scorecard. Par 4, one of the toughest holes on tour, toughest hole here at Redstone. And keeps his string of pars going. And Vijay tapped in from short range. That was a half, guys. Vijay pretending to be happy. To the 9th.
Turn around and ask Vijay what he made. Oh, man. John Daly, 2 bogeys on the front 9 so far. That would have been his 4th birdie to offset the couple of bogeys, but now we're just trying to make par. Oh, that was a nasty one to look at right there for JD. Par 5. Just hit a beautiful looking 3-iron in here, and now he's just sweating on a par, which he gets, but that one goes begging on the 9th hole. Today, 582 yards. The wind has kind of settled down now. Let's go forward to the 12th hole. Darren Clark coming out of nowhere, teeing off real early this morning, and he has got it going. Had a little trouble, as we all witnessed last week at Harbor Town, but this week he is 4 under par for the day. 9 under, 2 back. If he can get something going, remember these last 3 holes here at Redstone are really tough to par when you need them.
Over at the 8th, Olaz&aacute has this for par. Boy, he paused for a moment. There was a putt of that length that cost him the Bell South. First weekend of April. Had a couple of cracks at it, once in the final hole of regulation, then in the playoff.
He did, and very surprised to see him miss those, Jim. He's the kind of player that has made those his whole career. And I think as much as I've played with him and seen him make those kind of putts, I was shocked he was missing them.
Well, now Greg Owen can join Singh and Coles at the top. This rookie from Great Britain. Took him 157 events on the European Tour before he got his first win, the British Masters. This is only his 10th event as a member of the PGA Tour, and he's tied for the lead. And the shot of the day at the 8th. You don't have the closest to the pin contest out here. It doesn't give him any pro shop credit, but
no, not
give
here.
him a birdie.
And this hole's played very difficult today. One of the tougher holes on the course today, and didn't play that tough yesterday with the hole location in the right center. But today, tucked behind that bunker, Vijay Singh
with a 6-iron.
He can launch it high enough to get it to stop.
Trying to cut that in at the left edge of the green.
Oh, he's going to like this one a
Nice
lot.
kick.
A good birdie bid coming up for the youngest man ever elected into the World Golf Hall of Fame, and that announcement just this week. The age of 42, Vijay.
David, kind of surprised to see. I like to see Vijay working the ball, but kind of surprised to see him hitting a fade to a back left hole location like that.
He's hit a fade all day, and yeah, I mean, I guess if he's comfortable with it, but yeah, you certainly don't want to miss this green left.
No, you're kind of setting that fade out over nothing, really. So, not using the whole slope of the green.
Gavin Coles with a 4-iron. He is hitting a lot of club, and that one's on a pretty good line, just right.
Oh, needed one big kick, but he's going to get this one running out. Look out.
It's straight down, coming over the bunker down to that hole. It's well done.
Vijay starting to find out about Mr. Coles. Only his 36th event on the U.S. Tour, never in the top 10, but today he shares the lead.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Over at the 8th, Vijay now for the lead by 1.
And he's got this up the hill, but there's a grain change here. It should be right to left, but the grain might hold it out a little.
Oh.
Well, it sure did, David. I mean, he hit it right where he was looking. Just a misread right there. That's a pretty solid stroke.
So look at this uneventful beginning to the final round for Vijay, who opened up with 64 on Thursday. Let's go over to 13.
And Darren Clark is a long way away. More than 60 feet for a birdie at the par 3. And going well considering the huge disappointment of the last 2 rounds at Hilton Head. Tied for second. Peter Lonard won. Alongside Darren Clark, Todd Hamilton. Champion golfer of the year. Royal Troon last year. And Darren would have liked that one. Hamilton just 5 under. Back to the 8th.
And look at Gavin Coles. He can make it from 35, 40 feet for par. You got to think this one's one in the pocket.
And this one ought to turn.
That's birdie, David. That's the lead for Gavin Coles. 388th ranked in the world. And so often you feed off of a great par like the one he experienced at 7. Back it up with a birdie.
No question. I mean, a par like he made at 7, it's almost like making eagle on that hole, Jim. I mean, he actually had a chance to 3-putt there and walk off with double bogey. Not an easy 2-putt.
13.
Darren Clark trying to keep a bogey-free round going. Well done. Bogey-free in round 1 following that absolute mess of a last round.
We'll go back out to the play at the 9th.
We're going to find Greg Owen over here just in the rough.
252 yards and really a well-done layup. That should give him a really good angle at this hole.
That's a perfect shot right there, Peter. It is pin high to the right. There's a big bunker right in front of this pin, and the pin is just stuck right on top of it. Anything going straight at it. We saw John Daly's 3-iron just hit and just take off down into the valley below the chipping valley. And now back on the tee, Greg, or Gavin Coles, please, on this tee shot. Yesterday the wind was howling, and he actually, as short as he is, hit this green in 2, just over it. And he gets through the trees and gets that ball on the right-hand side of the fairway. Probably won't have a shot into it this hole. Vijay Singh, big rip. See where he's holding that club. That means he wants it to cut more.
Well, he's going to have a look at it from there, I guess.
Oh, man, David looks like it just sunk down in that rough on the left-hand side. And Peter Costas, why don't you take a look at this, and these 2 golf swings on the Konica Minolta, brought to you by, and look at Vijay on the left and then Gavin on the right.
You know, a real golf swing should be a representation of your personality. And as we sync these 2 swings up, you watch them start back, and very, very similar in tempo and rhythm at this point. But here's where the difference starts. Watch on the right, Gavin Coles, a very quick, energetic change of direction, a little bit short with the shoulder turn. Vijay still making his backswing. Gavin Coles at impact, Vijay still at the top of his backswing, starting down. The long, smooth motion of Vijay, a much more powerful one, but also a good representation of his kind of easygoing style and long, slow walk down the fairway.
Boy, good look right there. And you see Gavin Coles there on that left-hand or the right-hand side over here. All his weight stayed on his left side. Vijay, a big shift to the right and then a big shift to the left. That's how he hits it so far. Gavin's got a golf swing built for his size, about 5'4", and just tries to hit the ball in the fairway. Greg Owen now. His eagle attempt from here. Okay, we got 6 or 7 feet away. He's currently 11 under. There you see him right there. Tied for second. Darren Clark just kind of stuck right now at 4 under for the day, just kind of hanging around. He needs to get going, post a couple late, see if he can get to 11 or 12. Hang on, see what happens.
Gary, Jose Maria now has a lot of mud on the back of the golf ball, right about where he needs to make contact. It's going to be interesting to see how well he can control his distance here.
The idea of that, just try to hit something that's flat-faced and see if you can get away with it. Don't take anything lofty. If you got a lot of mud behind the ball, you don't know where it's going to go.
But Jose Maria is only 2 off the lead here and battling back and talking freely about how much hard work he's put into the game this last year, and he has been in contention a couple of times. Let's go back to 9.
And Gavin Coles there laying up, trying to stay away from those divots right there and try to get him in a good position, a good feel for his 3rd shot, whether he likes it or 80, 90, or 100 yards. Now up on the green. Greg Owen out to tie for the lead. Can't beat this luck. What do you think? What do you think? Yeah. 12 under par, 4 birdies on the front, and 1 double bogey. That's a whoops. Vijay. David Ferdy, he must have some kind of lie. He's got that 7-wood, 9-wood, whatever that thing he's got.
Yeah, it's a 5-wood loft, and he's got a pretty decent lie. It's not too bad there down the left-hand side. A little bit of a tree problem in front. He may have to draw this, but 250 yards to the front, 267 to the hole. He will be going.
Question is, can he get enough club on that thing to hook the ball? He wants to keep it to the right-hand side. If he has a miss it over there, right where Greg Owen missed it, and you can have a nice, easy chip shot at it. Just to get within 1. We've seen a little tendency from Jose lately, just inside of 10 feet. If he misses it, it will go to the left. You can see one birdie, a bunch of pars, but boy, he's got a bunch of top 10s already this year, playing well. Just hasn't been in that position to win since Atlanta. Trying to get that out of his memory. All right, let's see what Vijay's got here, David.
Well, he made a decent contact, but it looks like it needs to go a little. It's a nice kick. Oh!
Might be all right. He's got the length of the green at least right there. It shouldn't be too difficult for Vijay. Right now, two guys tied at 12 under par. And we'll find the 9th hole at 582 yards. This par 5, pretty straight. We've got a bunch of water on the right-hand side. Just you can see right there. Vijay Singh now.
Guys, can you hold up, please? Thanks.
David Ferdy with a rather long bunker shot, but he's got a lot of green, doesn't he?
Well, the angle gives him about 15 feet of green to work with, but he probably doesn't want to use all of that. It's on the upslope, so he can throw this in maybe 10 feet short of the hole and then into the green. That should pull it up.
Well, going into this round, he was only 1 out of 5 out of the bunker so far. So, and he is a very good bunker player.
Just didn't get that quite the way he wanted to. Didn't carry it far enough, and you know, it's a decent shot, but he won't be happy with it.
And now earlier,
this was from 95 yards. Laid up with a 4-iron and still had 95 yards. Trying to fling it in behind the hole and rip the ears off it. Didn't quite get the check.
And he'll have a look at it at least. Just kind of hanging in there. Of course, it helps when you make 40, 50 footers for pars. That really helps. Let's go to the 10th tee.
Greg Owen begins his back 9, tied for the lead with Gavin Coles.
Very aggressive play, going with driver with the fairways as firm and fast as they are.
And this hole playing slightly downwind today too. Catches just maybe the edge of the rough. Tough hole location in the back right today.
And back over to 9.
And this one not quite as long as the one he holed back on number 7, and breaking from the opposite direction. It's going to be left, right in the early part and then straightening at the end.
David, are you looking for this guy to break down, or are you looking for this guy to hang around the back 9?
Well, you know, I mean, the first time you get out there, it's hard to stay there. But he says that he's just out there and he wants to enjoy himself today, and when he enjoys himself, he usually plays well. So, you know, he hasn't been within 50 yards of Vijay Singh off the tee, but you can't argue with a leader.
Came out here, played a couple of years ago, and then lost his card, then played the Nationwide and got in the top 20 of the Nationwide and got out here. And just before the round, we asked him, how's it going to be playing with Vijay?
We won't see too much of each other on the fairways today, and that might be a good thing for me. I know one thing, I'll be probably first hit to the green every day, every hole, and that doesn't bother me, because it's not about playing Vijay, it's about playing the golf course.
That's the way you got to look at it, because right there is a Hall of Famer. Won 9 tournaments last year. Well over $10 million. Right now he's stuck on par. He's had 11 straight pars going into yesterday's round, so he's looking for something to jolt him, to get him going here. Deal is, he knows he can beat these guys. He's got to do something here to do it, and he's not doing it. Kind of gets that thing, well, if I just hang around, these guys are going to kind of fold and I can go win another tournament. And all of a sudden you keep making pars, and then all of a sudden, whoops, I can't make any birdies, and these guys aren't backing up, so now we've got a little match going here. He's playing some very aggressive shots. It's not like he's aiming left and right and trying to two-putt from 25 feet. Vijay will always go for it. It's just nothing getting real close. Well, there's 9 straight. You see it right there. Birdie the 15th hole yesterday, and that was it for birdies. We'll get something going here. Let's go to 11.
And Joe Ogilvy at the par 4 11th. This for par. My goodness. Looks like Gavin Coles par save at 7. 11th, 444-yard par 4. As all the holes are today. This one tucked in the back left. We'll be right back with more golf action from the Shell Houston Open right after this message and a word from your local station.
We are back at the 10th with Greg Owen, co-leader, second shot at the par 4.
Only 110 yards and a lie that will be very difficult to spin the ball.
Oh, that's well played. Put it in, got lucky, hit just off the green in the fringe, a little softer. Actually left himself with an uphill putt. Couldn't be in a better place.
To 12.
Houston's own Jeff Maggert. That's for birdie on 12, par 5. Oh, counting double figures right there for Jeff Maggert. He goes to 10 under, only 2 shots back, as we're all grouping for one heck of a finish on this very difficult back 9. Let's go to the 10th tee and get that back 9 started, guys.
Well, here we go with Gavin Coles. You look at the leaderboard. You've got Coles from Australia, Greg Owen from England, Vijay from Fiji, Darren Clark, Northern Ireland, and Spain's Olaz&aacute. First 5 names. David, what about this one?
Well, that's going to be a little bit awkward from there with the green sloping away at the back. Pretty difficult to be aggressive out of the rough. You really want to be in the fairway here.
Wide, please. Thank you.
Vijay on average now, updated average, 32 yards longer off the tee for the tournament than his playing partner Coles.
And Vijay going with a fairway medal here, realizing the importance of putting this in the fairway. Playing downwind today, doesn't need to do anything but get it in the fairway. Looks a little tugged.
Yeah, I mean, he was aiming that a little further right than I would have expected, and just pulled it.
Looks like he's kind of pulling some of those cuts a little bit, David, like they're just being tugged a little bit. That one probably held in the fairway simply because he did hit the fairway medal. Take a look at the 10th hole on Eagle Eye by Outback Steakhouse. Nice par 4, 414 yards, not particularly long. They'll get it past this area today because it is playing downwind. But the main problem here is the green. Slopes away in the back. Today's hole location in the back right. It goes off hard behind the back in the back right.
Giving up 7 birdies versus 13 bogeys and 2 even worse than that. Coles and Owens holding off Singh, the Hall of Famer, by 1. Over at the 10th, Owen for another birdie.
Boy, couldn't have asked for a simpler look. Just up the hill, moving a little bit left.
He never did convince himself what the putt would do, Lenny. He hit it with a lot of doubt.
Yeah, sometimes, Peter, I wonder if some of the foreign guys, like a guy like Greg Owen, who's grown up in England, may not be familiar with grain and putting into the grain that you find on greens like this.
15.
A man making a move. Darren Clark, his second to the par 5. That from 253 yards. Oh, and unlucky. Had that ball landed a foot farther left, it would have been hole high. Let's go back to 10.
You keep wondering, when will Vijay get going? But he will be second to hit, as you would expect. Gavin Coles first.
David, what's he got to do here? Where can he land this coming out of the rough?
Well, he's got 151 yards and really not too bad a lie, but with the flag where it is on him, he's really got to think about putting this in short and left of the hole. And that's not really a very holeable putt. He gets his flag high, it's a great shot.
Anything within 25, 30 feet is probably a successful play.
Wow, look at that.
Oh,
that's a great effort.
Bunker.
That's a heck of a play. And I mean, we've seen 2 shots get close here that haven't carried on the green, both in the rough, and really the only place they could land to get it close.
His Australian teacher, Gary Edwin, is to be smiling after that one. Edwin has also coached the likes of Rodney Pampling and Peter Lonard, although Lonard now is with Ledbetter. Paul Gow. Vijay Singh with a good look here, Lanny. You like this one?
Yeah, this is an excellent look. He's coming from the fairway, should be able to spin it. He spins the ball as well as anyone. You know, Vijay's been stuffing it. The thing he's got to do right now is really stay patient. He's done a good job of that, but you can't get so aggressive that you start now struggling to make pars.
Well, that's his weak sand wedge, and I don't think he got all of that one.
Yeah, and it checks up, backs up the slope. It had so much spin on it.
So he's outside of Coles where it counts. And let's go back over to the 15th.
And here's the downhill pitch for Darren Clark. This for an eagle. And well judged. That remaining for birdie for Darren that would draw him to a stroke of the lead. And after going 9 over on his last 13 holes last week, what a comeback. And Greg Owen on the tee at 11.
Really has been driving the ball beautifully today. 15th ranked on the tour in total driving.
And that couldn't be any better. And Darren Clark back at the 15th now for birdie. And that gets Darren to 11 under par. 6 under on his round today. And no bogeys. So Darren Clark draws to a stroke of the lead, held by Greg Owen and Gavin Coles. Stay tuned. Final round of the Shell Houston Open.
Back over at the 10th. And Vijay looking for the first birdie of the day.
Well, he's missed so many makeable ones, it might just work out that he makes something like this.
Well, this is a tough one. It'll drift back to the right at the end.
Gotta hit it too.
Oh, you don't want that one. That's a tricky little 4 or 5 footer.
Over to 11.
And Greg Owen, look at that flag stick. Barely looks on the green.
From 131, just a pitching wedge.
Anything left of the hole is death. Wisely playing it a little right. Hole high. And the great views above, courtesy of the Bloomin' Onion One. From Outback Steakhouse, beautiful day. Back to Tim.
And Gavin Coles with a lead alone. It's not as much as we've seen him miss the hole by to this point. We talked about how he got the last berth off the nationwide money list a year ago, the 20th to earn a card at the end of the season money list. He made it by $2,400 over Chris Tidlin to get back on tour. In his first experience on the big circuit back in '03 was a rather miserable learning experience. Only 7 cuts made in 28 tries, but this year far better. 5 for 7, and look at this. Never better than 17th, and he could actually win. And even make the story better, beat Vijay Singh in doing so, playing head-to-head. Vijay for par. They started the day tied. Talking about Singh and Coles. Singh now drafting 1 behind Coles and Owen. And we send it back to 11.
And Olaz&aacute, his second.
From 5 yards closer, 126, also a wedge.
And working out some, driving it very long.
But he's rolling at about 50 or 60 yards.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, that, by some people's standards, is a bad break right there.
Yep. We still have about 12 feet for birdie to 16.
Look at Darren Clark on the tee. You can see it right there. 474. No wind at all right now. Yesterday was blowing straight down the wind. This one's hanging over to the right. Look out, lady. She ducked. She got out of there, and I don't think that lie is going to be any good. Be right back with more golf action from the Shell Houston Open right after this message and a word from your local station.
Let's go over to the 11th.
And Gavin Coles. And when he misses it, he starts missing it to the right. Transition gets a little quick. Hands get stuck back. He gets a little out of sync, and he's got to control his emotions right now. Greg Owen for birdie. That'll be par for Owen.
And another look of bewilderment, Bobby. He's stroking it just fine, but his green reading is a little bit suspect right now.
And Vijay setting up for the cut. Owen did tap in for par.
I'm kind of surprised to see him go with the driver here on the short dog leg to the left. But that ought to do it.
Yeah, he's riding a lot of confidence for that left to right shot. He was practicing that on the range earlier this morning. To 16.
Darren Clark now 205 yards away. Not a bad looking lie. Hole cut way back in the left, and there's some water over there on the left. Ooh, get up, go. Ooh. I can't tell. There's a big old slope that goes down, and there's some plants, some vegetation, and then the hazard. So we'll find out here in a moment. Meanwhile, back on 11.
Olaz&aacute for birdie. Did it get there? Goodness. He'll be kicking himself uphill. Good look at it. Leave it that far short. Greg Owen, Gavin Coles still deadlocked at 12 under. And a host in pursuit. Final round of the Shell Houston Open. And the David and Goliath story continues with Gavin Coles in trouble at the par 4 11th.
Whoa. No, and he looks like he's going to the right here.
That was an aggressive shot, David.
I'm not sure what it was. It was with a utility club. I thought he would try to hit a big cut there.
But he short-sided himself, and it looks to be on the downslope of the bunker with no green to work with. This is really going to be a tough third for Gavin Coles. And Vijay, it's an interesting situation for Vijay with this difficult hole location today.
Quiet, please. Thank you.
And Vijay and Paul having a little discussion, hitting all the numbers down. Can't be long here, can't be left. And he's got the perfect angle. I look for this just to be a little right of the flag.
Yeah, Bobby, it's a perfect place for him to make a move right now. I mean, quite honestly, with his length, the golf course favors him coming up. So if he can take advantage of some of these short shots, get him in there close, he still puts himself back in the driver's seat.
Absolutely. He's got 2 par 5s that he can reach in 2.
Paul Tesori gave him a 9-iron.
And there it is, a little right of the flag. Perhaps a little farther right than he would have liked. That second shot of Gavin Coles is worth a second look. Lanny, what do you think he's trying to do?
Kind of surprised this play, Bobby. Like David said, he's taking it here. What this shot is making him do is hit a hook, which then puts the left side in play. I would think if he went the other way with a big cut, then his miss would have been to the right, and he would have had some green to work with.
Well, certainly now he's going to be in a real precarious spot.
We send that over to 14 and Jeff Maggert to pick up a birdie. He is now just 2 back. 3 under for the round for Maggert. To 12.
We got big John Daly out here. Second shot on his par 5, 266 yards to go. This pin cut way in the right-hand side over a bunker on the downhill. He's got a perfect shape. The ball should just feed off just maybe to the fringe. That's going to be just fine. Look where this hole is. Look at that. That's a big old slope right there. So you just got to aim the ball to the left. Good job there. Okay. Darren Clark, his third shot. Looks like he's on the hazard line, but in that rough, that long rough, that saved him from going into the water. And flies it just a little too far, and he's got about to, rolls out to about 20 feet from the hole. He's had 6 birdies so far, no bogeys. And now let's go back to this very difficult shot here.
David Fairdy.
Hideous. A hideous lie. It's all the way into the grain line, flat against him, the grass, and really very difficult not to hit this long, Bobby, just to make sure you don't leave it short.
I would think he might even go a little right of the flag.
Come on, come on, come on.
He was going that
so
direction.
easy to do that. You know, I mean, he gave that a good solid swing, but with that grass line against him, it's just such a cushion. It's impossible to judge.
That's just inexperience there, don't you think, David? I mean, in that position, you've got to put it past the hole and take your medicine. There's just too many holes left to be doing something like that.
Yeah, you've got to make a good full swing at the club. That one, you can see, was just cut off a little and, you know, under pressure to get it close.
Well, let's put this into perspective, though. He's playing against Vijay Singh, who's won over $39 million on tour. Gavin Cole's only won $150,000. Vijay's won 3 majors. Gavin Coles has never even qualified for a major championship. He's held up remarkably well.
That's the truth. And this one, he's got a chance here to get this close. This flew it a little bit too far. It wasn't that difficult a shot. He'll be unhappy with that one.
Almost as if he felt like there was a little firmer sand underneath than he expected. That's when the club bounces into the ball a little bit. The ball goes a little bit past. Let's go to 12.
And that is the birdie putt there. Joe Ogilvy on this par 5. His playing partner you see right there, John Daly. 10 under par now, 2 shots back. As this field is starting to compress from 9 to 12 under par. John Daly. Looks like about 6 feet. 5 feet? Yeah, looks like 5. Also double figures for John Daly, as we are setting up for an arousing finish here. Okay, Darren Clark, no bogeys so far. He's only got a couple holes to go. He has got to make this to have any chance. Is it gonna? Oh no, just kind of powers it through the break. Let's go back to 11.
And Vijay,
A big chance here to put some space
to tie the lead. Been a bit tentative.
Boy, he just looks uncomfortable with the putter today, Bobby. I mean, we're not seeing good speed from Vijay. We've seen him miss some short ones, and as you continue to do that, you start to press, and he just doesn't look like he has confidence in his putter right now.
It hadn't been there. Another par for Vijay. All pars today. Let's go to 16.
Darren Clark now. Looks like about 3.5 feet. Well, he hasn't had a bogey yet. That would be a double bogey, and his chances went flying out the window with that pulled second shot here on 16. As he will not go merrily to the 17th tee. Let's go back to 11.
2 weeks in a row, pulled second shots have cost him. Now Gavin Coles for bogey. David?
Well, we had an incident back in the trees. There were apparently he was upset by someone who bet him $5 that he would hit a tree, and he wanted the man ejected. Apparently there was I think there were a few beers involved. So that's a little unfortunate. So a double bogey here.
No excuse for the hecklers. Leave these guys alone. So a double bogey for Gavin Coles at the par 4 11th, and he now trails Greg Owen, our leader, by 2 in the final round of the Shell Houston Open.
Yes, he did. I played with Des last round. Look at Vijay over here, practice putting on the tee, which is allowed. He's just putting at our microphone. Like I said, that is allowed, so he's just killing time and staying relaxed.
For the week, Vijay and Owen, a couple of long ball hitters. Singh has him 4 yards, but Owen has him a shot.
Well, the impressive thing is both of them drive the ball very straight and long, both ranked in the top 20 in overall driving, which I think that's a huge stat. That not only means you drive it a long way, but you drive it relatively straight. And when you hit the ball that long, it's so easy to hit it offline and way offline. And these two men keep it in play very regularly. Not sure this is really all that productive here. It sure doesn't help working on your speed on the greens.
And here's a look at the eagle eye view with the Outback Steakhouse blimp providing the perspective of the 12th hole, the par 5.
And getting it out here in 2. The long hitters can get here. Vijay and Owen can get there in 2, but it takes a couple of big ones. We just saw John Daly get on in 2 with an iron. Need to take these bunkers out of play if you're a short player. You don't want any part of the left front bunkers especially. In a tough green, tough hole location today. The back right over that bunker.
And to the play at the 13th.
And a long way right of the cup. Exactly hole high, John Daly. Almost. What a great attempt. Oh, just a couple of yards from the left-hand side. Bunker off to the left of the green. John was well wide. It'll be easy par. Stay 10 under. 2 behind Greg Owen, who has won once on the European Tour. Owen's first season on the PGA Tour. Just a good big finish at Pebble Beach standing out so far for him. Daly, 2 under today. And let's have a look at the John Daly swing, courtesy of the Konica Minolta Swing Vision.
It's always fun to look at Big JD's golf swing. Really, it's a golf swing that you see a lot of 7- and 8-year-old kids with clubs that are too long and too heavy. They get to the top and swing it way past parallel. JD did that, but just never gave up on it. Club gets a little bit to the inside at this point, but notice how much he has turned his shoulders. His body turn stops, but now the arms lift up and over, and the club head, as we know from watching all these years, almost 45 degrees past parallel. But perhaps the most impressive part of this entire golf swing, yes, it's powerful, but it's invariably always under balance. I mean, he never looks like he swings so hard that he loses his balance. That's a kid's golf swing that John just never let up on. There's impact. Just a little bit above center of the club face. A little higher would produce a little bit higher launch shot. 186 miles an hour of ball speed. Wow.
Pummeled it off that par 5 first tee, 323. And Daly lurking just behind Owen and Singh.
Back to the play at the 12th.
Well, we got a big old par 5, wide fairway, one of the widest out here. Measures 577. Not a whole lot of wind, nothing.
That one drifting toward the right side of the fairway.
And looks like he'll be above the long grass. There it is right there, just on the junior cut. As it widen out, that was a good look right there. You see that bunker? That houses the pin right over that. Now, this was earlier VJ.
And that's the first draw that it appears he's tried to hit, and it's a beauty.
See him there, just not shift his weight as much with the body and just kind of turn the hands over, and just perfect, because he'll have to hit a couple of those hooks, like second shot on 16 in here. He'll have to hook that ball to get it close. He's going to start getting aggressive now to get off this par mode. Let's go to 15.
And Jeff Maggert's little pitch over the bunker. It's an aggressive route he took on his second shot to put it there. And we'll have that uphill 8-footer remaining for birdie. Maggert at 10 under, lives here nearby in Woodlands. Let's go to 17.
Darren Clark hit a beautiful tee shot, a nice approach, just over 15 feet for a birdie. And a disappointing effort. A double bogey at 16 dropped him from a tie for second to a tie for 8th spot. 2 disappointing finishes. It was the whole weekend at Hilton Head, just the last round for Darren today. Back to the 12th.
And we have some wandering, some Pro Tour wandering going on here.
And this is a shot that will make you wander.
It's just, this ball.
It's just awful. He's got 59 yards. He's got a terrible lie. Probably, if he carries the bunker, it would bounce and release 25 yards over the green.
Peter, let me ask you this. Why do you hit it over here?
He hit his drive after we were so complimentary of his driving ability. He hit it about 40 yards left in the rough.
So he had no control. He's trying to figure out how to make 5 right now. He just got a little shot, but he's just trying to make 5. Ooh. Now this is really a tough shot now. He made a very difficult shot really tough. Bunker shot straight up over this mountain. It's just straight down the hill again. You could put some skis on and really get some speed up on this thing if it was snowing here in Houston. Which, Jim Nance, I don't think you've ever seen snow here in Houston, have you?
There have been some sightings here, Gary. Don't kid yourself.
Really?
Yeah, now, not every year. Maybe every 10 years.
Well, we're free of snow right now. It's absolutely a perfect day here in Houston, about 74 degrees. No humidity whatsoever. It's just a good day to get the clubs and go out and play a little golf. Peter, what do we got here? We got Jose over to the left, and he's got that little hump there. Got to go up and down.
I think he laid up just where he wanted to. Hit a long iron from 252 and put it right where he wanted to. But boy, has he got a difficult chip.
I'd like to watch this guy work, though. This guy is really good at this shot. I'm guessing Peter's got to have 8 or 9 iron. He's going to shimmy one up there.
Well, he's going to have to take it up into the fringe off the green if he's going to go for direction to the hole.
How close can he get this with a really good shot before he hits?
6 feet.
Okay. Into that hill, one hop. Okay, and he has got it about to 15, 18, maybe, about 18 feet away, it looks like.
But that was the smart play. He didn't bring bogey into play at all. And he still has a relatively simple birdie putt, albeit longer than he wanted.
Now, give me a good shot on this one.
Well, I tell you what, it's the same situation. He's got to carry it to 5 or 6 feet beyond the hole. If he takes a line to the flag, keep it on the green is a good shot.
Really?
Yep.
Even with that uphill lie?
Yep.
Wow. And you can see he took it right at it. Ooh. He just put some luggage on that ball. Made it very heavy and stopped it there about, looks like 10, 12 feet away.
That was an impressive bunker shot.
Bloomin' Onion 1 giving us this look here. This, oh, there we go. He's got a little queasy anyway. Caddy hard at work. Look at him down there in that bunker, raking it up. He'll make that thing just pristine. Look just like it did before he walked in there. That's what a caddy does. That's why they're so good. Gavin calls now a half-hearted swing at that. David, what was that all about?
Well, it was kind of in the crease between the semi-rough and the fairway there. He tried to hit 4-iron, laying it up.
And now he's got, you can see how far he's back, but again, we've seen the crowded condition of that pin back there on the right. And now he's going to deal with that big hump coming out of the rough, and he can't put any spin on it. Let's go to 15.
Maggert for birdie. Just outside right edge. That's a good line. Bingo. So Maggert moves to 11 under par, and with Owen in trouble, he could be a co-leader in just a moment. Man who's finished second 3 times in the Houston Open. Back to 12.
Things are getting interesting.
Hey, Gary, and we're seeing the guys like Greg Owen and Gavin Coles put bogey in play, and we're seeing the experienced players like Olaz&aacute and Singh and Maggert, stay under control, not panic.
That's kind of how you would think this thing would pan out at the end. But Jose's got some demons too, because he can still remember Atlanta, so he's got to deal with that. Maggert hasn't won in a long, long time. He's got to deal with that. He's only won twice on the tour. Greg Owen's never won. John Daly, I can't even, I don't know what he's going to do. I got no idea. Joe Ogilvy there at 10 under. He hasn't won. Gavin Coles, obviously, is having some problems here. He hasn't won. So, I mean, Vijay is in the position to win, but he's not doing anything to win. That's why it's very interesting.
I thought Jose Maria might have put a better stroke on that one because it was outside of his
I think he's got demons,
range.
Peter. I think he's got demons right now with the putter.
They're there, yeah. You can see it. He's just totally uncomfortable.
And that's the big thing out here. They're all great players. He's played great this year, but he got to that position. He messed it up twice, and that is, believe me, that is vibrating in his head right now. It is clanging up there. It is so loud. He can hear it every step along the way. And it's out here, that's what you deal with, is demons. And it's the demons from last week or 2 weeks prior. Got to get rid of them. Play good, get rid of them.
And Gary, he's also going through the situation. He's never putted poorly in his life.
Ever.
And now, all of a sudden, he's hitting it well, and the putting goes.
Stupid game, isn't it, Laney?
Isn't it?
For a par to maintain the lead. Okay, we got the world now at 11 and 10 under par. And this is going to be an absolute sprint to the 18th hole. Who can get there first? If anybody can.
And you can see some players losing their composure. I think really that Greg Owen was hurt by about a 10 or 12 minute wait on the tee. This hole playing very slow, 2 or 3, 4 groups on it when he got here, and lost his rhythm. And now we have to see if he can keep his composure.
Peter Costas, can Vijay win this with 18 straight pars? Is that possible?
Stranger things have happened.
Okay, he's hanging around the lead. That's all you need. Just get me to the end and see what happens. But a par 5, you can't do what you did on a par 5, and he knows it. I know it. Scotty knows it. Everybody knows it. All right, Vijay, here we go. Second shot, this par 5.
231 the front, 253 the flag, 5 wood.
Got to miss it left.
All right, take your time, Beach. Count them.
Anywhere in that chipping bowl over to the left. If you miss it way left, that's fine. Just don't miss it to the right or short right. He's got a stutter step going here. We'll figure it out.
Looks like he's trying to get comfortable on what shot he wants to hit, Gary. You know, normally he's already made up his mind by now. This is kind of out of character for Vijay.
And it's a perfect shot for him. Aim it left and cut it. He was late with that. He was late with that.
That's just a flare.
Yeah. Ooh, well, you're right, Laney. He didn't look comfortable. He missed it in the worst possible position. This is getting interesting. We'll be right back with more golf action from the Shell Houston Open right with this message and a word from your local station.
Coles have never won.
Yeah, and the putters just kept Vijay from taking control today, Jim. I mean, and then a mistake like this is just really surprising from a guy with basically double the number of wins everybody else has together. That's not surprising, though.
Oh, was that nice. Looked like a beanbag when it hit, didn't it? And now this was earlier Gavin Coles. Look at the mess he's got. Look at that. Can't stop it.
106 yards at a full sand wedge and no chance of going at the flag from there.
He's kind of laid up. This par 5, his third shot to the left, and he will have a screaming birdie putt of about forever. And let's go to 14.
And John Daly. This could actually tie the lead. Okay, par 5 coming up, John. Earlier, Ogilvy just off the edge, also to tie the lead. Daly tapped in for his par. Ogilvy almost.
He's going along nice and steady, and this is a man that's played a lot of good golf the last couple of years, and probably due for a win.
16.
We got Jeff Maggert down there at 195, 6-iron. He likes to hook the ball. Hole's hanging over here on the left-hand side. Perfect position for his hook, and maybe you need a 5-iron. So this wind now, just kind of look at it, just nothing right now. It's just beautiful out here. Okay, we'll go to 12.
Oh, this is a slow one. A little bit up the hill, a little right to left, and into the green.
That'll need a little lurch there at impact to get there, and David, he's going to be way short. His good play for a long time is now somewhat going down the drain. See if he can hang in there. Come on, Kevin, just hang in there. You never know what's going to happen. Only one shot back. Only one shot back. Get this one in and keep anteing up. See what goes on. Let's go to 13.
And well wide of the target. Greg Owen, 194 yards to the hole. Exactly hole high.
He took a 5-iron, which I think was a lot of club for him, and kind of just hung on and flared it out to the right. Fairly decent lie for the shot.
I think hitting a hard shot to encourage the draw would have been a better play for this hole position.
Well, especially Sunday afternoon. This is a treacherous hole location. It is just over a knob from the direction that Jose Maria Olazabal is going to be putting from. I mean, there's no one's gotten it close today.
It's just as the grain changes into the grain, putting up the hill from short of the pin, and then it changes around the cup and the ground runs away at the back. And, Greg Owen doing pretty well. Back surgery last year, didn't play a full season in Europe, and then a qualifying tournament and going well to 12.
Par putt. That'll way to do it. Okay, don't talk in yourself. Okay, let's get this thing settled down. Now I'm 10 under. I got a shot to win this thing. So is everybody else, but I've got a good shot. And those good shots are being provided by the Outback Steakhouse. Bloomin' Onion 1 hanging around there. Look at him. Steady as she goes.
Remember you and I got up on that thing? Where was it?
Scared me to death because you want to drive.
Never again.
Okay, what do we got here?
Not much in this. Pretty straight putt.
Time for him to go. Right now. It's time. No other time. It's time.
Oh, just hit it a little firm.
Okay, he's stuck on par now. This is the hardest thing in the world, David, isn't it? When you get stuck on par, you can't get off no matter what you do, and now it starts working your brain a little bit.
You know, you have to feel that the longer he sort of hangs around tied or close to the lead, these last 3 holes are going to be pivotal. They're, you know, some of the toughest on tour.
Look at, we got nothing, no squares, no circles. Remember we had 3 pars finishing the round yesterday, so that's, you add them up, that's 18 straight pars.
Back at 13, Olazabal. Slightly up the hill and into the grain. We'll give him a par, stay 10 under. Bogey-free round, just 1 birdie for Olazabal to 16.
Well, this is exploratory from here. Olazabal tapped his in. And just from about 40 feet away. Just get it up there somewhere. Just a depth charge. There we go. Excellent. Good job. Excellent job right there. Very good. Jeff Maggert last won in '99. The match player beat Andrew McGee. So, you know, he's fighting some demons. Hey, we're all fighting demons. Let's go back to 13.
All kinds of people fighting all kinds of things. Greg Owen needs this par putt to stay tied alongside Vijay and Maggert. Jeff Maggert did tap in to stay at 11 under. And Peter, it looks as if it's a bit of a mechanical stroke. It's not a flowing stroke from Greg Owen. He's pretty solid long game, but the putting doesn't come naturally to him.
No, and I think that, you know, overall his game is more mechanical than it is artistic. I mean, he's fairly solid with the full swing, and sometimes when you get that mechanical with the putter, it's very, very difficult to let go and just trust it and roll at the right speed.
It looks as if he's thinking mechanics instead of getting a flow to the stroke.
But really, I think it's been his green reading more than anything today. He's has no confidence, I don't think, right now in his ability to read the putts.
Well, a long time ago, before the European Tour played all around the world, their international schedule, you might say players wouldn't have much experience on different kinds of grasses, but I don't think that's true anymore. European Tour is all over the place. Now, back to the tee.
And Vijay with a 6-iron. The flag in the back left. I mean, he's hit pretty much everything left to right, but not really the shot here.
Not much room left of the cup. Just 4 yards of green.
That one just right of the hole, trying to get back.
And a pretty good shot. Uphill, maybe a little left to right. And he has to be frustrated with the whole string of pars to 18.
And look at this. Darren Clark for birdie for 67. And drills it.
Oh, but for 1 shot over at 16, and he might be sitting right in the driver's seat.
Boy, that would have put him in at 12. Just a par at 16. But he's in, posting 10 under. Let's go back out to the play at 13.
That's 5 iron.
Able to work it a bit right to left, David.
Right at the flag.
It certainly is. Slow down. Different trajectory completely. Vijay stopping the ball quickly. Gavin running to the back portion of the green. An uphill putt for him for a birdie.
Past.
Thank you, Jim. Co-leader Jeff Maggert at the 17th. Sliding it around the corner. That's the plan. The bunkers are beautifully placed up the left-hand side. This is going to be a real challenge. From the sand, might not be a good stance. Over water to the green. Trees on the left are almost in the line too. Whoa. To 13. And the uphill birdie putt. For Coles. Definite nap of the grass a factor there, David.
It really is. You know, there's as much grain here. The greens are perfect, and they just take a little more reading. You get it across the green, it'll move that ball and really slow into it.
To 15.
And Daly in trouble off the tee, had to pitch out. This is third from 214. Oh my goodness, what a shot. And Daly will have a 4-footer for birdie to tie the lead. What a golf shot. To 17.
And Jeff Maggert is having to lay up after that tee shot. Left on 17. And he knew it when he hit the shot off the tee. He knew it was going to be a challenge, a real test going over the water with the second. Back to 13 with Vijay now.
Not a whole lot of swing in this one, almost straight up the hill. Good chance. And you could see he hit the putt he wanted to, just misread it.
So just a par, just another par. Nick Faldo won the 1987 Open Championship at Muirfield. Beat Paul Asing and Roger Davis with 18 consecutive pars. You might expect it on a vicious links course that par would be enough to win. Can hardly believe 18 consecutive pars would win here, but 7,500 yards, a lot of challenging holes coming in. Let's double check on Vijay's birdie opportunities. Bunker shot at 9 was not bad, missed the putt. At 12, an excellent chance at the par 5. He left his short arm pitch well short at number 10 after a perfect tee shot. He's had his opportunities. Putting from 4 to 8 feet. Missed 2 today, only missed 1. What is it, out of 9 previously this week. Coles taps in for par. And 1 over par for the round. Average score for the field just a little bit over par. It's been a test the last 2 days especially. Average score over 73 for round 3. Now I catch up with Maggert and his third shot. Still a little ways to go. 137 yards to the back right hole location. Very little green beyond the hole. And not bad. But he knew when his tee shot was in the air, he could be in trouble. So struggling to stay at 11 under. And a chance for Vijay with all that string of pars to be alone if at 11 under if Maggert misses this putt. But, 3 times the runner-up already in the Houston Open. Lost in a playoff to Mark Brooks in one of those. At 15.
And Joe Ogilvy has had a couple second place finishes this year. This for birdie. And that was a bit of a steery stroke coming down the hill. To 14.
Olaz&aacute.
Perfect yardage, 103. Good level lie. Sand wedge.
And his distance control is immaculate as always with that shot. Gets him in there in the scary range for him, though.
15.
And Daly for birdie. And just like that, John Daly is tied for the lead. And yesterday he had double bogeys at 7 and 11. So big JD storming back. Back to 14.
Who isn't this getting interesting? Now Greg Owen.
Awkward yardage, 94 yards, downhill lie.
That's well done. Not quite as tight as Olaz&aacute has it, but in there with a good look at it.
Well, John Daly joins the battle at the top, joining Singh and Maggert. And Jose Maria, here he is at 14.
Let's see if he can keep the putter going here. He's been stopping it and missing these to the left.
Not this time.
That was a better stroke. Putter hit, went right on through and release. That was beautiful. That's the kind of stroke we're used to seeing from him.
Pretty impressive foursome you have at the top earlier. Owen is also to tie the lead. Singh, Daly, Olaz&aacute, and Maggert all share the lead. This was earlier again. And Owen, can you believe this?
Wow, that's just total inexperience, losing concentration. I mean, if you're uncomfortable, you don't hit that shot.
Unbelievable. 16.
That is unbelievable. He didn't make the next one. I cannot believe that. John Daly, though, I can believe this. Just stripes it down the middle. This hole, 16th hole, 474 yards. Shot link tells me he hit that 310. Let's go back to 14.
Singh.
Keeping it low underneath an overhanging branch. That's on a great line from 127 yards. That's a little better.
I don't think he can miss all those, Kenny David.
I wouldn't think so. I mean, you'd knock one in by accident, wouldn't you?
I would think so.
Earlier, Gavin Coles.
And this was from 153 yards and right on the seam again. He got the heel caught in there and tugged that one left. Just right in between the intermediate cut and the heavy rough, and a little unlucky. That's no good.
Oh boy, short side and all. That is a scary miss left. 17.
Jeff Maggert, this for a par after his wayward tee shot. Trying to stay at 11 under. So he missed the tee shot in just absolutely the wrong place. A bad spot in the bunker. No option to go at the green in 2. He's had 7 birdies today, but that his 4th bogey, falls 1 behind. But a lot can happen on these closing 3 holes. 3 long par 4s. Vijay, of course, still a par 5 to play, and a chance for a birdie there at 14. And John Daly, he hit his drive at 16. Gary's hole, 397 yards yesterday, over 300 again today. Joe Ogilvie, another good tournament. Gavin Coles slipping back, and he's in trouble at 14. Brian Davis, another Englishman, going nicely. Doug Barron, good 68 today. Charles Howell III, having had a hot start to the season. It's been steady since then. Just a 72 for Todd Hamilton. And Brett Quigley, who was going so well for 2 rounds, has slipped back. 4 holes still to play for him. Tim Herron hit a monster drive here at 17. Almost 330 yards. Ted Purdy, a nice 69. Went to play the last round last week at Hilton Head with borrowed clubs. He thought, the 3rd round, he thought he'd missed the cut. He was on a plane. To 14.
In Coles.
In a very trampled down area here, and really no chance but to try to just bump this into the slope in front of him and hope to get a break, jump it up the hill and get it close.
Yeah, all you do from here is you pick out a spot, you take the club you think you can make solid contact with, probably put it back in your stance a little bit, and he will try to pick a spot that he wants the ball to land and hope that it will bounce up from there. This is just a guess. That's all you can do. guessed right. You look like you're a heck of a player.
Well, it happens so often. You see Coles and Owen hanging around for 3.5 rounds, and then you get late Sunday. You see things happen like Owen. Never looked like he was ready to go ahead and tap that one in.
No, he didn't. He looked completely out of sorts, uncomfortable. He went up with that one. That had no chance. I don't understand that play at all. Huge mistake there.
Yeah, Coles too. Looks like he's coming undone with that double, even with the nice rebound birdie.
Please hold your places. Hold your places, please.
Yeah, you can only shrug it off at this point. At 7, this was pretty special right here. On Thursday in the opening round when he shot 65, he made 3 putts of about this length. That was a par at the 7th. Then for birdie at the 8th.
Beautiful shot in here, and the putt well hold. No problems.
And then his 3rd shot at the 11th.
The first of his big mistakes, not getting down the green, just a huge mistake.
Came out of the anthill to here, this for the bogey, and would give up 2. And would be fortunate to only surrender 1 at the 14th. Let's go over to 16.
John Daly from 173 yards. We got it. He's hitting a 6-iron. And boy, that sounds like a lot. Oh, yeah. 173. John usually hits like an 8-iron. We tried to crawl that one up really low and just nailed it. And now he has got it against the bleachers back here on the 16th hole. We'll wait, and we'll go right to 14.
Yeah, Coles for the shot.
The thing I don't understand about the 3rd shot, Jim, is it just gave him no chance to make 4. I mean, there's no way he's going to throw it up in the air and have it stop. If you play it into the bank, you might run the risk of double bogey, but you do run, you know, at this, he would at least continue to keep trying to win the tournament because he'd have a chance for 4.
Well, Lanny, it's often been said the first sign of pressure is poor decision making.
And just think of the swing that you can see in this final pairing, with Singh maybe able to at last get off the par train.
David, not much in this, is it?
Might be just a fraction right to left, but that's all. He's really put it in the perfect spot, a little bit up the hill.
It's about time for him to make one. He needs to make something just to get his confidence going for the last 4 holes.
Takes the lead by 1 over Daly and Olaz&aacute. His first birdie since the 15th hole yesterday. So 17 holes.
And he's got a par 5 coming up too, so we expect to see him get close to 15 and 2 with 2 good shots. He's been hammering his tee ball. Good place to do it at 15.
Meanwhile, at 18, Jeff Maggert, after a stumble at the 17th.
Coming from the right-hand rough will make this hard to stop. This from 155.
Get out.
And boy, has he airmailed this one. And it's thick and tough from back there. Let's go back to 16.
Right below us, John Daly. Looks like he'll bounce into the hill, short of the green. Oh, yep, he did. Snuggles down, catches the fringe, and kicks it even farther forward. That is just this shy of brilliant. He's got it about a foot, 1.5 right there. Excellent, excellent touch by the big guy. We know how good he is around the greens with a delicate touch. Very nice. He hit a good-looking shot in there, that second shot from 173 with a 6-iron, but if it was a 7-iron, it would have been perfect. Watch this. You got to hit it. He's only got about a foot area right there to hit it. It's right against it, and then kisses off that fringe and shoots it forward to about a 1.5 feet. Yes, sir. And there, right there, we're talking about demons. There's the mothership right there of all demons. Let's go to 14.
And Coles for bogey. Well,
he's staying solid on those at least.
He had to hang in there for a really tough down and 2 from the other side of the green. But at mistake-free on the first side, a double at 11, and a bogey here at 14. Vijay picks up 2 on him and leads him by 3.
And the holes don't get any shorter on the way in.
15.
574-yard par 5, and Olaz&aacute, who's leading this week in greens hit and regulation, perfect position off the tee.
He's got 283 yards to the hole. He's been averaging about 50 or 60 yards a roll on his driver, Bobby. So he can roll this up there and kind of scuttle it up between those two greenside bunkers.
Yeah, he's got just over 250 to the front. John Daly did make par at 16.
This is just where he didn't want to miss it. It's just out to the right.
And it gets far enough into the bunker, and Olaz&aacute, known as one of the best bunker players in the world. And we'll be right back with more golf action from the Shell Houston Open right after this message and a word from your local station.
Back at the 18th, this was earlier, over the green, Maggert.
Pretty good lie, just needs to land it in the right place. Carries a little bit far, hits right on that downslope of the cut, and it has no chance to stop.
What a tough finish. Now for par to join Clark in the clubhouse at 10 under. $15.
And Vijay on the tee. Just thinking about the process of making the swing.
Oh, that's
ball's in the way, and that is long, David.
Huge.
Absolutely no problem for Vijay to reach this in 2. Let's go to 18.
And this is for bogey. And this one's 4 feet by.
This is something Jeff has always done. He just powers these short putts way too hard.
An awful finish. Giving up 3 shots over the last 2 holes. All that added pressure of trying to win at home. He's come close before. This is the 4th time he's really danced with the title, but never able to come away with it. This closing stretch can be brutal. And Peter Osterhaus took a look at the last 3 holes at Redstone. We go back out to the play at the 15th.
And Olaz&aacute's bunker shot.
This is scary. Uphill lie, long carry.
Yeah, but he's a master.
It's still scary.
Yeah, no
he
doubt.
Just can handle it.
Olaz&aacute at the end of last season. As we look at Vijay Singh and Gavin Coles walking up the fairway. And how has Vijay played this hole? Let's take a view from our eagle eye. Yesterday, well, the first round, Vijay made birdie. Second round, he made par. Got into trouble. And yesterday, this was the last birdie Vijay had made prior to the birdie at 14.
Straight back long at the CBS line.
Always aiming at me.
Yes, correct. Only about 5 more, which would be 264. $227 base for putt. Full right carry 247.
That sounds like a 5 for Vijay.
59.
And up on the green, Greg Owen on in 2 after bogeys on the last 3 holes. Remember, he had the lead outright. Good looking stroke. Well done. He'll have that tap in for birdie. But he's got to be feeling quite shell-shocked, Lanny Watkins, after the last 3 holes.
Well, he does, Bobby, and a lot of it is own undoing. I mean, just the mistake he made at the last hole, that little tap in, that's going to haunt him for quite a while.
Yeah. I guarantee you next time he gets into contention, he's going to be taking his time on those.
We should make note that that one-legged putt was in an attempt to stay out of the way of the through path of Olazable's short birdie effort.
Well, then you go ahead and mark it. You don't rush through those.
No, absolutely. But I'm just saying that's why he stood on the one leg.
Olazable, at the end of last season, he, for the very first time, and this is almost unheard of on the PGA Tour, he saw his swing on video and started studying it on video and made some alterations. And he has come out firing in 05. Swing is much improved. And
he needs to take a look at his putting stroke as well, Bobby. He keeps it so low going back that the blade invariably gets closed, and especially on those short ones, he doesn't have time to recover from that.
For birdie. And he's only allowed a few seconds, that ball hanging. So disappointed Olazable will make par at 15. And Vijay was back in the fairway watching. Let's go to 18 or 17.
Perfect tee shot for John Daly, long down the left-hand side. 153 yards for his second shot with a 9-iron. What a shot. Just a perfect tee shot and a beautiful approach. That putt to tie Vijay at 12 under. Tremendous, and what a fan favorite he is. Well, wherever he goes, but 3 years in succession in contention here in Houston. And he fought back yesterday. A couple of double bogeys middle of the round yesterday. Came back with birdies after that, and he knew this was nice. Nice smooth 9-iron, 153. And that on the same hole that Jeff Maggert struggled to a bogey. Just powering those drives. Routinely, I think his average for the week for every tee shot is around 315 yards to the 15th.
Quiet, please.
And Vijay's second, David.
Well, 257, but he's got 225 to the front and 5 wood here. I have to think he's going to try and hit a big high cut. That's plenty of club to fly it well past the front edge of the green. I thought he might be able to get here with a very long iron.
Perfect setup for him.
And that's on a very good line. If it's the right club.
It is right in the heart of the green. Hope took a rather hard bounce, but still in real good shape to make a birdie. But how about John Daly making a run? He's flagged it on 17. That short putt remaining for birdie to tie the lead.
On the tee. Jose Maria Olazable. He's on the left-hand side, so he's trying to hit something, a squirming hook down the right side. I like that.
Well, this one's headed too far left, Gary.
Well, it did roll a long way, but finally made a habitat there in that long grass. Let's go forward to 17.
And Joe Ogilvie is sizing up his second putt. He was about 50 feet short. And he'll be putting for his par before John Daly tries the birdie try. Ogilvie, 10 under par. So what will be a very costly bogey if that one goes in. Tie for fourth at 10 under before the bogey plus. Now John Daly from just over 4 feet just recapped that lead. Vijay Singh 12 under, but in good shape at number 15. John needs this. Closest second shot all day on this hole. beautiful shots at just the right time. 73 yesterday. Pulled him back a bit, but a beautiful round today. One more hole to go for John. 6 out of 7 today from 4 to 8 feet. And most of the crowd are on the move even before Ogilvy taps in for his bogey. Ogilvy back to 9 under, 3 off the lead. Gavin Coles slipped back to 9 under now. A little bit of a left turn over to the 18th fairway as we come back towards the 17th tee. The 11th fairway coming this way on the right hand side. And the water next to the 16th green. To 15.
And earlier Gavin Coles wayward on his second. This his third to the par 5.
From Wrongsville.
Yeah, and that was significantly pulled. We should be able to make par here. And Gavin Coles, talked to him earlier this morning, and his family's moving to Orlando. Hoping to purchase a home. He just bought some furniture recently. Overhead views courtesy of the Bloomin' Onion One from Outback Steakhouse. Still VFR skies. A little increasing cloudiness to the west. And Vijay really staying focused. And here's how Daly and Singh have squared off just this week. Vijay hitting a significant percentage of fairways. Let's go to 18.
And he needs one.
And I like this play, Jim. He's not going with driver. He's trying to put this in the fairway. Probably wants to hit a hard cut down the left center. He just has nowhere to hit driver on this hole. He runs out of room. That better slow down with fairway wood. Oh, that's perfect.
Yep, took a big gallop, but he's well positioned. The back left hole location.
Yeah, but John hits the ball high enough, he can get it to fly back there and stop. Shouldn't be a problem for him at all.
All right, over to 16.
Well, from my angle, we thought it was in the rough, but this ball's not lying bad at all. It's just in the junior cut right there. 179 yards to the flag, and it's back in the left, and everything looks good here. We got a 6-iron from Jose. Wind blowing from left to right to add to the equation. He's one shot back, and there's water lurking on the left. Well, that's a tough shot. The hole is crowned from the area he's coming from, and it's in that gnarled grass that no one's really been walking around over there, so that won't be fun at all. Let's go try Vijay at 15.
And wisely with the putter. The difficulty here is a little uphill right off the bat, then downhill down green. A little right to left break. Good speed. So birdie for Vijay, and again taking a one-stroke lead. Back-to-back birdies. Gavin Coles going to finish up. As for par, currently in a two-way tie for 6th is Coles. If he stays there, he'd earn over $170,000. That's more than he's made in his career on the PGA Tour. So each hole, each putt, so significant for him. He's dealt with the pressure well. Unfamiliar territory for Gavin Coles and very familiar territory for Vijay Singh. He holds a 1-stroke lead, 3 holes remaining in the Shell Houston Open.
Jose Maria Olazabal with an ugly lie. No green to work with. Up the hill, you say, well, you just pitched this straight in the air. That deserves a little golf clap from high atop the 16th hole. That was very nice. Let's go to 18.
And here we go. Thank you, John Daly.
From 149, back left hole location. Seen a lot of balls stop. If he can just fly it all the way back there, shouldn't be a problem. Oh, and it's not. It's back there, and it's close. He's looking at about 10, 12 feet. Not much movement in that putt. Very simple putt down green, which is even better. Makes it more makeable.
Could you tell back there in the fairway, Peter, it was all over it?
Yeah, he was. This crowd is unbelievably behind John Daly, but he was very confident with that swing.
16.
Well, he's pretty confident too, Vijay Singh.
Yeah, that looks like a nice one.
Absolutely just gutted it in these last 3 holes. This is the 2nd ranked hardest hole for the week. 17th hole is the 4th ranked hardest hole, and 18 is the 3rd rank. So you take a deep breath on 16 and then go forward.
Let's go back to 16.
Well, see if he can get this par. This is from that distance that we have a tendency to pull it. He has 2 shots back. Pretty good stroke right there, huh? Boy, that was a great up and down by Jose Maria Olazabal. And now this was earlier. We heard a big roar, a huge roar. Woke me up. Greg Owen. Look at his caddy. Look at his caddy. Come on, man. Finally. How in the world can he miss it from a foot and then make it from 50? Well, I'll talk to him on the next hole. We got some mo going with John Daly. Serious mo going. Vijay's going to have to fight off that mo. And he's going along just like he started off the round. He says, okay, I've got a bunch of guys here that haven't won in a long time. They're fighting some stuff, and I'm just going to go out and make some pars, a couple of birdies, and we're going to win. But all of a sudden, here's a guy in the equation that loves this golf course. Loves it. Jimmy Nance, I think he's going to make this.
You do. Let's see. Remember, this is the same length putt he had. We showed you from Warwick Hills last August.
Not much in this down green. Just get it on line.
The title lead.
Yes!
John Daly ties it at the Shell Houston Open.
Boy, he rattled that thing home with authority. That putt and stroke got a lot more confident as the round went on.
He had the pump fist going right after impact. Sweeps his son right off his feet, and he's going in to sign the card and wait. He went back recently and looked at footage of his win at Crooked Stick in '91, noticed some mechanics with his putting, adjusted, and said now in the last 2 weeks it's felt like it did back in those magical days in the early '90s. And even though he's 2 holes away, Vijay could only laugh. He knew all about that roar. Gary, you called it. You felt it.
You know, it's all about mo out here. You know, you can say that is the hardest fist pump I have ever seen John Daly make. So you knew that putt meant a lot to him. And now Vijay right there in the fairway, just going about his business like the golf accountant that he is. He just adds up all the wins, all the money.
And he knows exactly what that roar was for as well.
Yeah. There can only be a roar like that from one guy out here.
He's got 179 yards left here and 6-iron in his hand.
John Daly tried to hit a little 6-iron from he was about 173, David, and he hit in there low, and it took one big hop and hit the bleachers back here. So let's see how he tries to flight this ball in.
Well, he's changed to 7, so he's just going to go ahead and hit this one up in the air and hard.
That's a better play. I mean, anytime you've got a hole location this far back into the left, you've got to make a hard swing. He's been hitting that little cut all day. He has no place to hit it here.
It's going to be interesting to see where he gets aggressive on these last 3 holes to try to get that one birdie to shake himself loose.
Lovely shot. Man, he needed 6.
Yep. He is going to have, he's got the exact same putt we just saw Greg Owen make it. Exactly. So that line's still hot. Let's go to 17 tee.
An important tee shot. We saw it catch out Jeff Maggert. Oh, Tharbel, that is going to be very difficult. I don't know whether the trees will be in play, but out of the rough to the back right corner. And this was earlier Greg Owen after that monster birdie at 16. Oh, that's the lean of something just a fraction further left than he wants it. And settles pretty close to the lip with water on the way to the green. And let's have a closer look at that swing on the tee. The Greg Owen swing. Excuse me, the Olazabal swing.
Jose Maria Olazabal has really worked hard on his driving of the golf ball the last little bit. When he gets in trouble, what happens to him? He gets very narrow at the top. The shaft is very, very close to his neck. So as he turns away, braces with his right leg. Let's take notice of the shaft at the top of the backswing. Good full turn away, much wider than he used to be with the driver swing. A lot of body rotation, and he stays what we call on top of it. See, he's got his weight moving over to his left side. Very low ball flight will be the result of that, and he has averaged, walking with him today, he averaged 50 to 60 yards of roll on every single tee shot. There you see how level and low the driver goes through the ball.
So his driving is vastly improved. The putting was always a strength. That seems to be a problem now. But the driver, as we see, this pretty lush rough. Trees are in play down the right-hand side, and he's going to need some luck with the lie. Now let's go to Peter Costas.
And I'm here with John Daly and his son. And JD, I have to say, as Gary McCord made note, I have never seen a fist pump out of you like I saw on 18. It really had to mean something to you.
Well, I know Vijay. I just saw he went to 13 and put even more pressure on me, and I had to make it. But, you know, he's playing great, so we'll just have to see what he does on 17 and 18.
Tell me. The candor of youth. Tell me about your game today. I mean, yesterday you struggled a little bit, but you hung in there. How was it today?
Well, I gave myself so many opportunities on the front 9 and missed so many putts. You know, you kind of get down on yourself a little bit. But Peter said, just keep hitting the ball the way you are, man. You're hitting it close, and you know when you're hitting it close, you're not going to make everything. And you know, I hit a lot of good putts today, and finally made the ones I needed to make.
What are you going to do now while you wait out the outcome?
I'll just hang around here. I'm not going the range.
All right, we'll go back up to 18. Good luck to you. Maybe third time's the charm for you.
All right, thank you, John, and thank you, little Austin, for the honesty. I hope he doesn't make it. Talking about Vijay, there he goes, trudging along with Dad, who's certainly getting a hero's greeting everywhere he walks these days. After this round, this splendid round with birdies at 17 and 18, and we go back out to the play at 17.
And the challenge of the second shot. Looks as if he might be clear, just clear of the trees, going at the middle of the green. We can't see much of the ball, and water right in front of the putting surface. Bogey-free round so far for Olazabal, just a couple of birdies. As if it's a layup. He was taking his time as if he was making a bold move, but he'll now have maybe 100 yards to go with the pitch. Didn't have a choice. Laid up to 16.
Well, here we go from about 45, I'm guessing. Excellent. Just threw one up there just in case. You know, if it goes in, great. If not, let's not have a whole lot of work. We've got 2 holes to go. We'll pick one out. And Jim Nance was saying, just a little sidebar, this golf tournament has been played Houston Open since 1946. We've never had back-to-back winners. Vijay has won it 2 out of the last 3 years. This would be the first ever back-to-back if he could pull it out. So he's got that going for him.
Singh with 2 holes to play, tied with John Daly. In with 67.
Back at the 17th tee. We're just waiting for everybody to settle down, and this should fit him perfectly. John Daly watching close to the 18th green. 18th is the first playoff hole. Now Vijay's ready. Seen Maggert and Owen find the left-hand bunker. Vijay looks very comfortable. That just bombs it across the corner.
Perfect. Couldn't be better.
It's long. It's about 300 yards to the far end of those 2 bunkers on the left. So 300 yards on the fairway. Tied for the lead. Beautiful shot. Up ahead, Olaz&aacute laid up. 82 yards to go for his third. Here at 17. And not his best play. Usually so good with those sand wedge pitch shots. And just review that leaderboard. Vijay Singh and John Daly tied at the top. Let's go to Peter Costas.
Thank you, Peter. Here with John Hofmeister, the president and country chair of Shell Oil Company. And what a difference a year makes. Last year we battled the rain. This year the weather is perfect and the finish is going to be unbelievably exciting.
Peter, you can feel it in the crowds. The cheers we just had a few minutes ago were fantastic. But you know, none of this would happen if we didn't have the good folks at Redstone and the HGA and all the fans who are here. And all of this, of course, is to help the charities of Children of Houston. We're going to put more than 1 million children into the programs over the next few years based on all the money that we're taking from this tournament. We're really excited about it and appreciate the support, CBS and all the folks that help make this happen.
Well, thank you very much, and somebody's going to be really lucky to get this trophy as we go back up to 18.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Mr. Hofmeister. As the Daly family, wife Sherry, they wait. Here is the Caldwell Banker shot of the day. We're going to go ahead and give this one away. At 18, John Daly.
Just a nice smooth 9-iron to the back left hole location. Puts it in there and gives himself a chance.
It's not just that shot, it's the shot sequence, because it also includes, when you talk about the shot of the day, this putt. Bangs it home to tie the lead.
For a par to stay at 11 under. No chance now of being in the playoff. Daly's finished at 13 under. Just for pride, satisfaction. Brush this in. And a bit of cash, of course. Could have gone in so easily. Had hit every green in regulation until 16. Missed the 16th, missed the 17th. So the long game is back. The putting still needs to be a little more consistent, but playing better, much better than the last couple of years. A lot of hard work during the winter. But he's such a competitor. Hates it that he made a bogey. Now, Greg Owen. Who's had an up and down last few holes. 3 consecutive bogeys, then a couple of birdies, then another struggle here. This is for a bogey. He was in trouble off the tee in the bunker, had to lay up, went over the green with his third, and it's a bogey, but it's going to be another high finish. He's back down the fairway. Vijay Singh and Gavin Coles have both found the fairway. Vijay just calmly summing up the situation. He'll have to wait. Gavin Coles. A long way to go. And John Daly paying close attention. Gavin Cole's quite a bit behind Vijay again, David.
Well, yes, he is. He's got a 212 yards, and he's only had less than 200 yards into a green on this inward half twice, and that was both on short par 4. So I mean, that's really that's a tough task going in with these clubs all the time, and this is a kind of a rescue utility wood.
There's that quick rhythm. Settle down now. Almost underneath our tower, and it's going to be an awkward shot. Chip and run. Does he lob it onto the green? Now Vijay.
And the difference in par, Vijay 187 yards. It's just a 6-iron is all he needs.
Just hole after hole, the advantage distance-wise has to pay off eventually if you can find enough fairways. And Vijay, when he needed to on this closing stretch, has found the fairways. Attacked that 15th, the par 5 in 2 after a perfect drive. Good drive at 16. Great drive here.
And a nice flag for him here, trying to cut it in there, back toward it.
Just if he might have got ahead of it a little bit. Knocked it out to the right. Gets a handy bounce. Ran on a bit more than he might have expected, but not the best shot. Got a chance for a birdie. At the moment tied with John Daly.
And we go back to the 18th tee.
Olaz&aacute taking fairway wood, just trying to put it in the right center if he can.
You think Daly should be over hitting some balls right now?
He's already said he's not going to, Jim. I don't think that's John Daly. I think he's going to do what he's comfortable with, and quite honestly, he stays pretty loose anyway. He's just got a big, long, loose swing, and he's just enjoying the time and relaxing. You do hear what fits your personality, and I think this fits John's personality.
Little baby John Patrick. We met Austin earlier.
That's little John.
Yes, saw little John, little Austin, who's had a word or two about what he'd like to see happen down the stretch. Wouldn't it be something to see these two long knockers have to go an extra inning or two?
Johnny makes the golf course a better place.
And we're back at 17. Vijay just waiting his turn. Gavin Coles will play first. John Daly, beautiful putting average for the week. And Vijay, all business. Gavin Coles. Looks as if he's going to play a lofted club, David.
Yeah, this is, he's got a nice lie for it, you know, and a little sort of check and run, a little bit right to left.
Quiet, please.
At the moment in a big tie for 7th spot. 6 players tied for 7th. So whatever he does, very significant. What a beautiful shot. Beautiful shot. Going for his best finish on the PGA Tour. Turns out to be a routine par. Beautiful pitch.
Just a reminder, the CBS Evening News will follow golf on most of these CBS stations, so please stay tuned.
Now back with Vijay. Just under 27 feet for the birdie. David, it was an okay second shot, not the greatest.
No, he would have wanted it a little further back toward the hole for sure, but at this stage of the game, you know, these are really realistic chances, and it's down the hill, little left to right. Wouldn't surprise me to see him just cruise it right in the middle.
And the whole string of pars before consecutive birdies. Nice swing of the putter. Nice swing of the putter. Almost. With a certain par. I gave it that look like, well, I thought I had a pretty good putt. and several thousand fans are on the move. He'll take his time. Go to the dangerous 18th, tied with John Daly. 2 under, just the 2 birdies at 14 and 15. Everything else pars. And let's go to 18.
And we've got the Olaz&aacute and Owen pairing. Vijay heading over to the 18th tee. Can't help but think about how Vijay's had a couple of heartbreaks since his win at Wiley, the second event of the season. Heartbreaks in a playoff, missing a short putt, and then finding the water at Arnold Palmer's event at Bay Hill, the 72nd hole. Here's Jose Maria.
This is the 9-iron. Get 9-iron in your hand, you should be flag hunting. And he was. Excellent shot.
Found his target, 8 feet.
That'll be the 3rd by himself. Vijay's walking up to 18. I cannot imagine, Jim, that Vijay's going to hit driver at 18. We've even seen probably the most aggressive player in golf, John Daly, lay up with a fairway wood here. So I would expect Vijay to take that 5 wood of his and just hammer it down the right side.
It's interesting, John Daly's actually just a few paces off the 18th green, so he's joining the rest of this huge throng that has surrounded the 18th. He'll be watching Vijay with his own eyes, not through the monitor.
Oh, and Vijay's got driver. Wow. This is some play. This is either he is thinking win or lose right here. I mean, he's only got about 10 yards to hit this driver in. I cannot imagine this being anywhere but right center or right. Looks like he came right out of that one.
And the flag indicates it's well right.
Yeah, that was waterproof.
Right over by the cart path as they'll clear the way. You never did like that move, Lanny, at all.
I just think that the hole's not playing that long today, Jimmy. He just had to put it in the fairway. And with the back left hole location here at 18, the green's holding so well. It's into the green for the players playing into it. We've already seen 2 or 3 shots come right in and stop dead. So I just think that was the wrong play. I think it's a big mental mistake by DJ right there.
There's Coles. You know, I was just looking at that shot from the blimp, and it looks like he's past the heavy forest. So a couple of little trees in front of him, but maybe an open alley coming up for Vijay. We'll find out. Suspense at the 72nd hole at Redstone. There it is, an absolute clean, clear alley for Mr. Singh.
Yeah, if it's clear up top, Jim, I mean, we know he's got an excellent lie. It's nice and tight. Is it, David, what does it look like?
Couldn't be better.
Wow, I mean, that's just lucky. That is just nothing but lucky right there.
Yeah, he's got a clean look at it. He's right underneath a big old elm tree here, but it's not going to interfere at all. He's far enough forward.
The lie looks ideal, and again, Vijay with birdie wins. With 4, they'll go back to the 18th tee for a playoff. Maybe that was part of his thinking. I mean, with his length, you can blow it out there so far past the corner of that dog leg that maybe you can get past all the trees. I know it's a gamble and it's a risk.
Well, it's not so much the trees. There are corporate tents over there, and quite honestly, if you hit them in the tents, you get a drop back towards the fairway. So he probably would have had some kind of shot. But the problem is the luck factor comes in here that he's sitting cleanly. If he'd have had to drop it in the rough, wouldn't have been able to spin it, control the trajectory, been able to hit a hook or fade, any of those things. So the lucky and important thing about what he's got going on here is it's sitting cleanly.
And John takes a look, craning the neck to look down to see Vijay on that right rough. Greg Owen's already made par at 18 now. Olaz&aacute for birdie.
10 feet, and this is for third by himself.
Beautiful putt.
I'll tell you what, that stroke looks a lot better. The last 7 or 8 holes, that looks like the old Jose Maria stroke.
Never higher than 70 in any round this week. And Olaz&aacute knocks Clark and Owen back to tied for 4th. So Jose Maria 3rd alone. You see from this view right here, had he been closer to the fairway, in other words, had it been not such a wide miss, it would have been the thicker rough and the trees, the newly planted trees from just a couple of years back would have certainly factored in. Now Gavin Coles
with an 8-iron.
Well, I mean, and here's a good example right here. Coles has 8-iron in here, so Vijay could very easily have taken his 5-wood and played 9-iron to this green. I mean, that's what John Daly did. He played fairway metal off the tee and hit 9-iron to this green. And that just is that's the prudent play. It's the odds are better, the percentages are better. It just it's a very questionable play, but Vijay's gotten lucky. He's sitting well, and it couldn't be more wide open to this hole.
What do you have there, David?
He has 143 yards, and it's a little downwind. It looks like pitching wedge to me.
Oh, look at this. And she stops only 5 feet away for the win.
Just an absolutely beautiful swing. And what let it happen was the lie he caught in the rough, no question.
Knocked it inside Coles, who had hit a fine shot of his own. And Vijay is snug. Look at this.
This ball sitting nice and tight and crisp. Couldn't be better, even if it was in the fairway. Makes wonderful contact, nice and shallow. That ball landing into the green. It's going to stop from a well-struck shot, and it did.
He's got a putt that doesn't really have a whole lot in it.
It's just outside the right. I've seen this putt several times today, and each time it's moved a little bit to the left. The players that get it more than a ball outside the right, it has stayed there. So it's right about a right edge putt.
Well, Vijay has often lamented about his putting being the one problem area of his game. Doesn't consider himself a good putter. Says I'm not a bad putter. I'm just not a great one. And great putters win a lot more tournaments. Of course, he won 9 last year. He's already won 1 this year. Newly minted Hall of Famer as of just a few days ago.
It's amazing as he wins more, his standards start getting a little bit higher. I mean, 9 wins is winning a lot. 25 wins right here is winning a lot.
A real student of the swing, too. He grew up, again, not really any access to live golf telecast. Would watch old films, tapes, get his hands on. One he studied maybe the most was a Hogan versus Snead Shell's Wonderful World of Golf match that took place here in Houston, at Houston Country Club back in the 1960s. Fascinated by their hip movement. Their action was the same. He studied it and tried to duplicate it over and over again.
Yeah, I would think he's a lot closer of a swinger of the club to Sam Snead than he would have been Ben Hogan. Rhythm is more like Snead's anyway.
His work ethic is a little more like Hogan's, you'd have to say.
Yes, no question.
Just a remarkable player.
And he loved Tom Weiskopf's action too.
Well, what's not to love there? That man could paint shots around the golf course.
And he, of course, has the similar build, the similar size. Weiskopf. Now we have Coles, who's in a tie for 7th. It's a large group right now. 6 players in all he shares 7th with. Can move up, join Joe Ogilvy. 6th position, and slips away.
He had the green going left. You would have thought that would have moved left. He might have just powered right through the break. He's going to finish up, get out of Vijay's way.
Well, he does.
Main thing, though, take your time.
What would you call the Daly? Make that the Singh length. What would you call that putt?
I think Vijay's is about 6 feet.
Okay. Final round 75. Gavin Coles, his best ever finish. His first top 10 in America.
Now, Jim, one thing about Vijay Singh, all his trials and tribulations with the media, is he's a very generous man with his time to younger players. He'll find Gavin Coles in the next couple of weeks and talk to him, give him a little advice. He's a very generous man.
Coles was asked, and he really never had a chance to know. Vijay said, nobody passed by me the other day and said, great playing. You talk to the young players, like you said, David, and they all will tell you how generous Vijay is.
Now this is about 6 feet and just right edge, maybe right inside if he strikes it solidly. He's readjusting his ball right there, putting the line exactly where he wants to hit it. A lot of players do that today. I like the fact he's reading it by himself. Takes away any second doubts or other opinions.
It's been a wonderful day of golf, and it could end right here.
Got it outside, didn't move, had to be in the hole.
Going to a playoff. Singh and Daly will head back to the 18th tee.
Well, the ones we've seen today, Jimmy, that have gotten it outside the hole, but a ball has stayed there. That was outside of that ball.
He missed at 18, while Daly, about a half an hour ago, drilled his. So it'll be Vijay and JD when we continue with the playoff after this word from your local station. Vijay's most recent experience in a playoff was not a pleasant one, when he missed the short putt and opened the way for Padraig Harrington to win at the Honda. So Daly, of course, anxious to go. Singh has to add up the card. Let's turn that one in.
John always plays fast. It'd be interesting. I would think he'd take a couple of swings here at some point in time. He did not go to the practice tee and hit any balls, and right now he's probably wishing he could hit one or two, even though that's not in his personality.
While we wait for the start of the playoff, we're going to turn it over to CBS News for an update. Vijay Singh is being ferried back to the 18th tee to try to settle the score here at the Shell Houston Open. And what a dynamite duo we have here with John Daly ready to go. Might be careful, he might set that shirt on fire.
Loosening up in typical John Daly fashion right there. Didn't hit any golf balls, didn't hit any putts. He's just going to come out and wing it. He feels comfortable. So it hasn't been that long. It's only been a couple of groups finishing, so it's not like it's been an hour. It's been maybe 20 minutes.
Well, just a little more than that, but you know, maybe a half an hour.
Yeah.
But as you said all along, consistently, that is John's nature. That's what he's comfortable with.
And he's already got fairway metal out to play that off the tee, and it'll be interesting to see if he hits that, if he happens to draw the #1 number, which it will draw to see who goes first, and he hits first and puts that fairway metal in the fairway, if Vijay then will go back and hit driver. My guess is Vijay is going to stay with his game plan and hit driver. You tend to get more aggressive in a sudden death playoff. That's the mindset. It's kind of now or never, so you're going for the great shot a lot of times rather than the solid, consistent play.
Lanny, do you think that if Vijay were to happen to pick #1 and drive it solid down the heart of the fairway, that might alter John's at all?
It could, but I don't think so. John's already got fairway metal out.
Vijay is up first.
And he's going with driver right there. So you sure expect this to be anywhere but left. He's teeing it very high. He's going to try and hit a big launching high fade, take it right at that hospitality tent you see, and just hit a big high hard cut. I still don't think it's a smart play. He's only looking at 10 yards of fairway he can hit to with driver. Anything down the center of the fairway, left center of the fairway, he's in the water. This is one exacting play.
He likes it this time, I believe.
All right, come on, Daly. Here we go, baby.
Look out.
That's worse. Now he's got trees and long rough to deal with. That's the problem. He actually got far enough. He's in a gap, but he won't have as easy a shot at the hole as he did before simply because of the lie.
Lanny, the trees are going to be not a problem, but the lie will definitely be with that hole location.
And John going with a fairway medal, just wants to hit a nice holding shot down the left center. Wouldn't be surprised to see this blocked right after all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see what his first swing is after the long break. Look out. This better settle down quick. Look out. Well, there you go.
Still good, John. Stayed on. It stayed on. Stayed on. It's on.
That one is in the water. He'll play his third from that point. Well, that's a long walk with a few punishing thoughts as to this tee shot for John Daly.
Looked like a pretty good golf swing, but you know, when you haven't hit balls in well over half an hour, different things take over, and that's down the left center, and even with fairway metal, he's put that through into the water. Wasn't that bad a shot, but I sure would have expected him to miss that shot to the right. You know, it's going to be a debate over should he have hit balls or not. I just think John's personality, he wasn't going to hit any, and that's just the way it is. If it had been me, I'd have hit balls.
Well, now he's going to be playing his third after this drop off of a side hill lie.
Yeah, he will probably drop this twice and place it, Jimmy, be my guess. It's a pretty steep slope. If the ball stays up on that slope for one of the first two drops, I'd almost be surprised. So he's marking 2 club lengths from the red lateral hazard line, and he'll have to drop it within those 2 club lengths.
And he's going to have about, well, right on 160 yards right there.
And he will be hitting 3, 1-shot penalty.
Just told his caddy go down and field this one.
Yeah, his caddy can grab it once it crosses the red line. He cannot touch it until it crosses the red line.
Hey, it's a new ball.
Yeah. And Mark Russell, the official there on site, said don't touch it till it crosses the red. And there it's
but this one's settled. So
yeah, that's actually not a very good break, because it would have been flatter a little bit more, I think, the higher up the hill it was. So it's,
they were trying to figure out the point where the ball had landed on the second drop. Didn't even bother to look back over their shoulder and see that the ball, in fact, had stopped velcroed to the side of the hill. So now his third from 160. And Vijay, it's a difficult assignment as well for Singh.
Peter Costas, he can get it in the center of the green. Vijay can, but probably not going to go with the flag.
No, he's got about 115 yards to the front.
Daly's third on the way.
And John needs to aim this well right, because this ball will come off left hard on him.
And it's gone left. It did into the thick stuff.
Tried to punch a 7-iron there. Really a tough spot to be coming from.
He just didn't give enough room to the right. When it's that far above your feet, it is going to go left, and you've got to play for it.
Vijay now has 140 back to the hole, 115 to the front, and with this lie, it'll be a pitching wedge. Just chip it on the front of the green and let it run back toward the middle.
He took it upstairs, trying to fly it back into the center of the green. I tell you what, he's left with 45 feet at least, and this is not an easy 2-putt. But John's up and down for bogey is even tougher. In fact, Vijay may well be away on the next shot.
In fact, I think you're right about that. I think by a good 10 feet, I think Vijay will be the one to play next.
Nobody can edge closer.
That's right.
And he plays more than Tiger, so he'll be defending next week in New Orleans.
Daly will be in the field as well. Chris DeMarco marks his return after his great play at Augusta. Davis Love will be there.
Be interesting to watch this right here to see if John pays enough attention to realize that he's not away. John plays so fast, he's liable to just think since I'm off the green, he'll walk up and hit it. So sometimes you need to stop and be aware of where you are and what's going on.
And the lie over there is going to be very difficult as well. Very thick, short-sided himself on top of it. And now they're discussing who's away.
Well, if a photographer stepped on the ball, then John will mark his ball. He will pick it up and drop it as near to the spot where it originally lay as possible.
Exactly where it was. The ball was sitting. I mean, the cameraman kicked it. Right here. Right here.
He's going to get a drop, not a placement.
He couldn't place it unless he knew the exact spot. Since he does not know the exact spot, he will drop it as near as possible to where they think it was. Now it's in play.
Oh, and that's a hideous drop, just buried.
That was just a very bad break, and unfortunately some cameraman didn't pay attention, and that's what happens. It's not one of our people. Ours know what they're doing.
No, that's a local stills guy. Gave it the clog.
Well, I'm surprised John's not away. He's playing.
Fourth shot. And a good one.
What a shot he hit.
David, you surprised he played? Didn't even ask Vijay? I mean, that he and Vijay didn't even discuss it?
No. Johnny's probably got a flight.
He'd love to delay that flight now by at least another 15 minutes if some way he can stay in the game here, but he's going to have to now rely on Vijay mistakes.
Well, Vijay had his ball on the ground already while John was playing, so indicating that he thought he was away, and he kind of just walked up and let John do his thing.
He was reading this putt all the while that John Daly was getting his ruling, expecting that it would be his turn to play as soon as the ball dropped.
Now Vijay from about 45 feet. Peter, not much in this putt.
No, speed is the big issue.
2 putts to win.
Pretty good speed right there.
Oh, what a putt. And I think he'll go ahead and close it out.
That should take care of business. That's too bad for John Daly. You hate to lose it that way because he just handed it right to Vijay with the tee shot.
It's a Hall of Fame week for Vijay Singh, the first ever repeat winner in the history of the Shell Houston Open. Jim Nantz, Lanny Watkins, and the crew. Good night from Houston.